ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਜੁਗਰਾਜਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਸ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦਾ। ਫਲਾਵਰ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਣਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਨੂੰ ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਸਟੇਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਮੇਨਟੇਨ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਧਿਰ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਿੰਮੇਵਾਰ ਹੈ ਸਿਟੀ ਆਫ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਪਾਰਕਸ ਐਂਡ ਰੀਕ੍ਰੀਏਸ਼ਨ, ਉਹ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੌਰਟੀਕਲਚਰ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀ ਆਫ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ। ਇੱਕ ਖਾਸ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਭਰਪੂਰ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਰੂਟਸ, ਫਲ, ਸਬਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਗਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ। Carol, Jessica, welcome to our studio.
Thank you.
I would like to start with you. What is Brampton Horticulture Society all about? What it does?
Well, the Brampton Horticultural Society was started in about 1895, so we have been in the city for an awful long time, second oldest organisation in the city of Brampton. We're basically or predominantly an outreach program to the people that are really interested in gardening, horticultural, conservation and environment, and that's obviously changed over the years because people's needs have changed and how we see things in our environment have changed. We have monthly meetings, and at those meetings we have a speaker and we present different topics on the environment and gardening and horticulture, which there is a little bit of a difference. Some people say we need to change our name to a garden club, but don't think that that's going to happen. We have many outreach programs within the community. We've been involved in some significant programs in the past which we think have really helped to develop people's interest in gardening. We had a front garden recognition program for several years which recognised over 7,000 homes in Brampton for the way that they had maintained their garden, the colour and all those aspects. We have a kids program that we bring into being any time that there's an opportunity to meet with a lot of children. We do community outreach sessions, going to different community events that the city of Brampton has, and we're very happy to do that. We're a part of the Adopt a Park program. We're very involved in the CD event and looking forward to that in the near future. We have many different programs. Many different programs, yes.
So how many members are involved with your organization?
We currently have a membership of about 137, which is a slight drop, so we're looking to encourage people to come. The membership fees are really minimal. Anybody is welcome to come as a guest, and if they think that they're going to enjoy being with us, they can come back a second time, but not a third time. They have to pay a membership fee after that. We are making big efforts to get out there in the community and to change some of the way that we have looked in the past as gardening. We're having a workshop that we haven't quite got a name for it yet, but it's going to be gardening something, and that's going to be a half-a-day program where we're going to welcome people that maybe have had some experience in gardening but not a lot, and they'll get the opportunity to learn how to make a vegetable bed, a flower bed, to plant seeds, to prune their trees. So that's a big outreach endeavour.
So there are many people in the South Asian community as well who would be interested in joining you. How can they contact you?
Okay, we have a website. We also have an email address. And it's posted on many different community postings, the City of Brampton. So you go to Brampton Horticultural Society, and then you find the website.
So Jessica, you're with City of Brampton. How is City of Brampton related to Horticulture Society? How do you guys club?
Well, I work for the Parks Department, so I do community outreach, and we have various partnerships with the Brampton Hort Society. They're an amazing group. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of enthusiasm. We've started the CD Saturday, which we could not have done without their help. They have so much knowledge and experience and outreach. They support our Adopt a Park program. We've in the past done Communities in Bloom, where Brampton was an actual winner internationally and nationally. So we help support each other. So when they are looking for some sort of support for some of their programs, we assist, and then we also invite them to some of our programs too.
Yeah, like she was telling, horticulture has lots of programs. City of Brampton have different programs. Just give us some insight about what kind of programs you run in which the community can be involved.
Okay, sure. So we have quite a few. We have our Adopt a Park program. So Brampton actually has over 850 parks. So we have a lot of parks that are available for adoption. And adoption entails usually a 2-year commitment, a couple of cleanups, some community events. We really are trying to inspire sort of ownership and people looking after the parks, environmental stewardship. I think currently we have about 75 parks that are adopted, so there's a lot available.
So when you say adoption now, what kind of involvement of the communities involved and how they can do it, what kind of work they have to do in there?
So they can go to our website to find a little bit more about the information, but it's usually they sign a 2-year contract or agreement. We supply them for cleanups. We do that usually in April and October, so we'll supply cleanup supplies. They get their name on the actual park sign, which people really like. And there is some benefits if they're planning to do an event. Depending on the size of the event, they don't have to buy a permit for the event. So, but we help them if they're looking for some expertise. We can send out some of like an arborist or a horticulturalist to give them some information. But really, we kind of encourage them to get their neighborhood involved and to really have a little bit of park prideship. So
we were talking about that you have a gardening club you were talking about. So if there is someone new to this thing, they have interest, they want to know how to grow some fruits and vegetables, how can you help them?
We don't do so much of that at our monthly meetings, but we do that at our outreach events. Actually, having said that, we are going to have a mini workshop tonight before our meeting, and that is going to be about starting seeds. And so anybody that was coming for the first time and didn't know, they could do that, but we certainly have and are trying to have more workshops. The community outreach events that we go to are really important because that gives us an opportunity to meet new gardeners and gardeners that maybe are not familiar with the growing conditions that are different here in Canada to some of the hotter climates and just different techniques as far as gardening. Actually, that's also been a great opportunity for us to learn too, because we've learned how to grow some vegetables and plants that we maybe hadn't tried to grow before. So our biggest push right now is to get out there in the public so that we are aware and so that they are aware of us. CD is a very great place for us because we reach between 400 to 800 people during the course of that day. So it's a matter of us growing and becoming much more diverse.
You were talking about community gardening. What is that all about?
Okay, our community gardening is actually the maintenance primarily of flower gardens. So to make a building look aesthetically more pleasing. And in the past, and I think it will always continue for us, it's the beautification of some gardens for people that are living in care facilities. And there's not as much money for that to be done through care facility now, and we've been doing that. We've been with one organisation for over 30 years, so we have 3 or 4 people that commit themselves to maintain those gardens.
So you have lots of volunteers, you have lots of programs going on. To carry out these kind of programs, lots of funding is involved. So
we're self-funded. We're self-funded with the exception of a grant that we do get from the Ontario government once a year, and that's been in place since 1906 because at that time communities weren't putting money into their public and municipal gardens or beautification, and so the Ontario government, based on the membership of your organisation, gives you funding. It's not a lot, but it certainly does help. Otherwise, the funding comes from from organisation memberships, fundraisers that we have. We have an annual plant sale, which at this point is our largest fundraiser, which supports most of our programs. We did have a garden tour. We haven't had that for the past 3 years. So, yes, it's...
City has a different community gardening program. So what is all that about?
Yep, we have a community garden program. It's open to residents of Brampton, 1 per household. There's about 5. We're hoping to build a new one in the countryside in Bramalea area. And it's sort of first come, first serve. We do have a waiting list for the existing ones, but it's basically available for residents from May 1st until October 31st to grow annual vegetables. and it's very popular. Very popular.
It's a time for a break. We'll be right back after the break.
Okay.
ਸਮਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਦਾ। ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। So city, throughout the year, city just does different tree planting community events. Just tell us something about that.
Sure. So the city runs 3 main ones. So we have an Earth Day planting. This year it's on April 27th. And you can go to the website for all the details. We'll have 3 different locations. We're partnering with the CVC and the TRCA. So all 3 different groups will be leading a tree planting throughout the city. We also have our annual May planting, which is May 4th at Valley Brook Park, which will also be on the website soon. And then we also have one on September 14th, which is Community Parks Day at Alan Kerbal Park. So those are the 3 main ones that the city does. The TRCA and CVC also do tree plantings throughout Brampton, so you can always go to their websites to find more information. But basically you show up, we provide a tree, and you plant it.
There's a special event coming up in March that both the city and the Horticulture Society are clubbing in doing it. Just tell our viewers something more about that, what the event is about.
Sure. So on March 9th at Century Gardens, we will be holding the 7th annual CD Saturday event. It's an amazing event. We have over 20 vendors. We have a kid zone, we have a CD cafe, so you can get great food, and a great seed swap, as well as several seminars. So it's a fabulous event. Recommend you come early, because whoever comes early gets a free plant, first 100 people, and it's a wonderful way just to jump into spring.
So she was telling about the seminars. What kind of seminars are it, and what kind of knowledge do people are going to get from it?
Okay, we have 5 seminars, and they range from seed saving and seed planting to growing a vegetable garden, and especially if you've done it haven't done it before and you're doing it for the first time, then you have the opportunity to learn how to do it from somebody that really knows what he's doing. We actually are having a presentation on living with coyote and wildlife, and we're having a presentation on the bird environment within your backyard and the importance of them. And right now I can't think about the 5th one. I can't remember what it is, and I really should. So that's going to be a surprise. They start at 10 in the morning. They're 45-minute seminars. We have seating for close to 50 people, but we usually have a good 20 or so people that are standing up, listening to them. A great way to spend a day.
So you're telling about that, isn't it so easy just to put the seed in the soil, water it, and the vegetables come up?
Not quite that easy.
Okay.
But
we have some project with us. Let's bring it in to show us how you do it. So ਆਓ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਮਾਹਰਾਂ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਵਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਬੀਜ ਬਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਗਾਉਣਾ ਆ. So let's start. Let's just show us how you do it.
All right. So basically, the first step would be to fill your flat full of soil. I got a potty mixed, so it's a little more porous. You open your seeds, obviously.
So is there any special kind of soil that is required for different vegetables or fruits or plants?
there are 2 different soils that you can start with, but seed starting is usually done with something called a starter mix, which is a very, very finely ground mixture of different components, the main one being peat moss, and that helps the absorption of the water when you put the seed in, but also if you use a seed starter mix, it's fine and it allows the roots of the seeds to go through better than if they're having fighting a heavier soil.
Is it better? What's the difference like? Is it better to plant seed in a pot or in the ground? So how the plant will come out? What will be the difference?
There are certain seeds that can be planted directly into the soil. Those seeds will be planted later in the year, whereas what Jessica is doing today, she can start almost some of the seeds within the next week to 10 days. Tomato seeds, you would start to plant them in the manner that Jessica is going to do it early March.
Let's see.
So so basically you take your seed and you press it down. It's usually about the size, so the depth is about the size of the seed, and you just push it down. You cover it with soil and a little bit of water.
Not too much water.
Not too much water. You don't want to drown it. And then you put the cover on top, which creates humidity and helps germinate.
So how much humidity is needed, sunlight, what's the requirement for that?
As much sun as possible. So if you have a grow light, so it is a little bit of a struggle to grow inside because you don't get the full spectrum. And then if you can get it to a sunny window, and then hopefully outside as soon as possible.
Do you have to water throughout the day or just once or twice?
Usually once a day. Just don't allow it to dry out, but also don't drown it.
You need to have some moisture in the peat pot. So that I found anyway that if they have some moisture in them initially, then they're not going to draw the moisture out of the soil as the seeds are growing. This cover is only left on for a certain period of time until the seeds begin to germinate, and you don't want too much humidity to be created with what looks like a steam over it.
So we just planted a bean seed. How long does it take for it to germinate?
It depends on different varieties, but this would probably take about 5 days. And then once you see it spread, as Carol said, you would take this off because this is like a little mini greenhouse, and you want it to breathe, and you don't want too much humidity because it may rot.
Great, good knowledge. So आस करते हैं कि ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਪਤਾ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਈਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ। ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
So we hope to see you at our 7th annual CD Saturday. It is free parking, free admission. The first 100 people that attend will win a plant that they can take home for themselves and celebrate spring. So we hope to see you there.
Oh, that was great. So I think our viewers would have a lot of insight of how to do it. I'll definitely try it when I go back home. So when is this event and what are the timings?
It's on Saturday, March the 9th at Century Gardens on Varden Street. And the doors open at 10 o'clock until 3 p.m. And it's a very, very busy, enjoyable, happy, great environment for people that are interested in gardening, the environment, conservation, super kid zone. It's very popular. They do have to have an adult with them.
Is there any admission fee or anything?
There is no admission fee, and there is no fee to the people that are participating. And that's the Brampton Horticultural Society's good fortune because of the partnership that we have with the City of Brampton.
So are you going to have any speakers over there as well? Like what kind of topics are you going to talk about?
The speakers will be the 5 presenters that will be presenting between 10 and 3 in the afternoon. And to review them again, we have somebody that will be talking about seeds and planting seeds, planting a vegetable garden. A homesteading couple will be there with the possibility that they may or they may not have some interesting things to tell us about some new goat kids that will have arrived within a couple of days of them coming on Saturday. And they do a very interesting presentation based on really going back to a lot of old methods and techniques that were used when people did homestead in Canada, and sort of how you can maybe ditch your cell phones for a night and make some preserves or candles or just cook vegetables and enjoy. So that's a good presentation for a lot of people that are maybe looking for a little difference in their lifestyle.
So people can buy different kinds of seeds, vegetables?
Oh yes, there will be many people selling seeds. We have probably the way that CD Saturday got its name was because it was a seed swap. And one of the biggest things about the seed swap is the preservation of non-genetically modified seeds. And so that's important because we really want to keep nurturing the saving of those seeds so that we don't lose them.
We from Prime Asia really congratulate you on your 7th annual event, and we're always there for you.
Great. We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you very much.
आस करते हैं आज ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਸੰਦ ਆਇਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ, ਕਾਫੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਟਿਵ, ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ CD Saturday 9 ਮਾਰਚ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਹੁੰਚਣਾ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਲਿਖ ਭੇਜਣਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੱਗਿਆ। ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੈਸੇजेस ਦੀ ਉਡੀਕ ਰਹੇਗੀ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ।